Good morning, my children. It has been a very long time since we have seen each other. Well, you're seeing me, I don't get to see you. Hopefully that will change. Many of you have probably heard about the application or program or website Zoom. Social studies are scheduled to be able to have live Zoom meetings between 8 a.m. and noon on Mondays. I am also looking to find time on Wednesdays afternoon to be able to have a second Zoom conference with those people that need help with the work that we're working on or have questions or just need to reconnect with us. I'll let you know as that information becomes available. But for right now, let's jump right on in on your assignment for today. So when we were last together, we had talked about two different things. First, you took some notes about different inventors and their inventions. We then had watched a video about the cotton gin invented by Eli Whitney. One of the things that we had seen with the inventors and inventions were different people that were involved in creating machines that helped expand the textile industry. And the textile industry is where you take natural fibers from cotton or linen or from sheep, the wool, and you weave it into fabric, and that fabric then is turned into clothes. Well, we are going to jump off from the cotton gin into how the cotton gin connects to the expansion of slavery in the United States, as well as Manifest Destiny. And then along the way, we're going to introduce the United States Industrial Revolution with the first textile factories in the Northeast. So I want you to know that on Edsby, there is a reading that you can do that will follow along with the notes that you will be writing on page 37. There is also a video on YouTube from Crash Course U.S. History on the Industrial Revolution. Either one of them is useful. You don't have to read and watch both. That'll take a little bit too much time. But read one or watch the other. Either way, you'll benefit from it. And hopefully it'll help make the notes make more sense. So very simply, the cotton puzzle is made up of 4 pieces. You're going to be using a graphic organizer that is posted up onto Edsby. And you'll be able to, if you have a printer, print it out and write your notes straight onto it. If you don't have a printer, you'll be able to see it on your screen and draw it into your notebook. Either way, doesn't make a difference. And that graphic organizer looks like this. In the center, we have the cotton gin. From the video we watched, the video said that the cotton gin allowed one worker to do the work of 50 slaves in one day. And the work that machine did was taking a cotton boll and separating out the fibers of cotton and the seeds and twigs and things like that you didn't want to have in your clothes. And this took away time as being a factor in whether or not a farmer decided to grow cotton. Well, as more farmers were able to grow cotton, because there were these machines, the cotton gin, that could clean the cotton, farmers needed land on which to grow their cotton. Well, one of the nice side effects of Manifest Destiny in moving westward was there was more and more land acquired by the U.S. that farmers could grow cotton upon. But as more and more farmers were growing cotton, they needed workers. Those workers are going to be slaves. That goes back to the expansion of slavery that we talked about. How the population of slaves in the U.S. grew, that it grew mostly in places where cotton was grown. And that leads to the last part of the cotton puzzle. You need a market. You need somebody that's going to buy the cotton, because you can't eat it. It doesn't burn very well. It's not otherwise a very useless fabric. So it's very lucky, it's very convenient that at around the same time that the cotton gin is invented, in England there were inventions that brought together different textile machines and put them together under single roofs in what we would think of as early factories, and allowed for the mass production of large amounts of fabric using wool from sheep. Turns out that cotton is much more comfortable, much cooler, and a lot softer. And so a lot of the cotton that starts being grown in the United States is shipped off to England, where it's processed in England's textile factories, turned into cloth. The cloth is then sold back to the United States at a higher cost. England makes the money, and this goes back to our old mercantilism from the very beginning of the year. The United States is providing England with the raw material. England is providing the U.S. with a finished good. England is the country making the real money. But thanks to a couple clever Americans, one of them being Francis Cabot Lowell, Americans build their own textile factories up in New England. They take advantage of rivers and use water power to turn water wheels that power these factories and power the machines inside the factories. They also take advantage of young women that came off of New England farms to work in the factories, as well as large numbers of young children that could work in the factories as well. And soon, the cotton that's being produced in the South, instead of being shipped off to England, is being shipped off to New England. And as we know about mercantilism, the more gold you have, the more power you have. You don't want your gold going somewhere else. That gold is staying inside the United States. Problem is, those factories, because they're able to make fabric so fast, the demand for cotton increases. And so farmers across the South need more land to grow more cotton on. That means they need more workers, which means they need more slaves. They're producing more cotton. That means they need bigger, more powerful cotton gins. And once they produce those bigger, more powerful cotton gins, those bales of cotton are shipped up north. And one of the things that helps get them shipped up north a lot faster are the railroads that are invented and laid down with tracks and locomotives that that draw I can't even think of what the things the trains drag. But you know what I'm talking about, the carts behind the locomotives. And those bring the cotton up to the factories much faster. The cotton's processed in the factories faster, and it makes a very quickly moving cycle. So now we get to the part about what you're going to be doing. If you have a printer, you can go ahead, print this paper out. If you do print this paper out, you notice there's no space for you to write any notes about the cotton gin. A lot of space for notes about the land, workers, and the market. So what I want you to do, if you print this out, I want you to go down to the bottom, and I want you to fold up from the bottom about 2 inches. If you fold up about 2 inches, that will give you a flap that when we get back together, you can glue into your notebook. So you can glue it into your notebook, but it'll allow you to fold the page down, and that whole back there, you have space to write your notes about the cotton gin. When you're done writing on the back, you fold it up, and then you have space for land, for workers, and for the market. Now, if you don't have a printer, don't panic. You can look at this image on Etsy and take a loose leaf sheet of paper, backtrack. You can look at this image on Etsy. You can draw this on page 137, just plain 37, and taking a loose leaf sheet of paper, slide the top of the loose leaf sheet of paper behind the bottom of the page, making your page longer. And at the bottom down here, you have space to write your information about the cotton gin. And then on the rest of your page where you drew out the graphic, you have space to write information about land, workers, and market. So that is your task for today. Get those notes done, and I will ask you some questions about that on Tuesday. If you have any questions, drop me an email through Etsy. I will do my best to help you, or you can drop a question into the Etsy feed underneath any one of the images there. And hopefully you're able to complete this without too much difficulty, and we'll be able to move on to Tuesday and what we'll be doing on Tuesday. So, with that done, I will see you Tuesday. Have yourself a great day. Bye.